What's up, SNA fans? Back here with another video. This time is the AEW Rampage review video on May 1st, 2024. And I'm back here to talk about continuing with more AEW content with the paramedics dragging in Kenny Omega into the ambulance. But this is where we got the Young Bucks then came in, attacked the paramedics and FTR, send them right into the corner and Okada throwing Uncle Dax Harwood right into the railing, right into the upper side. This is where, and they grab. This is where then we got the Young Bucks then said like nothing personal to you, Omega. It's all part of business, and this is where, and I was like if it's all part of the business, like you wouldn't attack him and did the EVP trigger. Like that's just 2 + 2 = potatoes, which I'll give it the 2 + 2 = potatoes between AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage, because this has not made any sense of the price of quarters, I guess you could say, if there is such thing as one. But anyway, this is where we got them tossing them right onto the right off the stretcher, right after Kenny Omega then poke Matthew Jackson right in the eye. This is where then he tossed Kenny Omega right off the stretcher, and he flipped, which he made him hit his stomach right into the left side, which I believe that's where the ticulitis is, which I believe that was very heartless of Matthew Jackson for doing that. Like, well, in kayfabe, of course, not in real life. But something just tells me like and that's like him still having diverticulitis is not entirely an accurate update of Kenny Omega. Because why would he take so many brutal bumps, like if he still have every single bit of that sickness, like from back in December and from the last few months? I just don't. It wouldn't make any sense if he completely has it. Like I say, maybe I partially do, but it wouldn't make any sense if he has it. He would already be a goner. With him, like did start coughing and start hacking and yakking, and then him they have to rush him over to the hospital like more before the Young Bucks could even attack him. Like they would have probably would say this is not a drill, and this is a legitimate health concern right here. We need to take him to the hospital ASAP. But none of that happened because it seemed like Kenny Omega was too brutally hurt. But at the same time, we never know, like, because he could be selling it. He could be legitimately took a bump to the point that he can, how much he can take, because he can only take limited amount of bump. But yeah, let me know about this in the comments below. But either way, my thoughts and prayers goes to Kenny Omega. Like at this very a very unfortunate time for the cleaner of AEW. Nearly made a mistake like if I was Jim Ross, but luckily I correct myself from doing that. But this is where we got Bang 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 Gang of Switchblade Jay White then going head to head against Dante Martin, which I gave it the third best match of the night, because the second goes to who was it? Yeah, it was Kyle O'Reilly and what's his name? Rocky Romero. While the match of the night is definitely the main event with Nightingale defending her TBS championship against Sky Blue in a Winnipeg Massacre street fight match. But this is where we got the Bang 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 Gang with all three of the Trios Championship. Yeah, you heard me correctly. It's three. Well, it's the Scissoring Strap Championships and the ones before the Acclaim redesigned the AEW Trios Champions with them holding both those belts in the Ring of Honor 6-man tag match. I mean tag team, not tag match, 6-man tag belts. Let me rephrase that. My apologies. That's where we got Dante Martin then start hitting heavy hands right onto Jay White. This is where he closed him out of the ring. He dived right onto him, thrown back in the ring. But this is where he got caught in a trap. He got thrown right to the right side by the Switchblade. But yeah, getting caught with the weapon, the deadly weapon. This is where he started hitting knife edge chops right onto Dante Martin. This is where I jumped to the upper corner side to the bottom corner. This is where he bowed his head for a good 5 seconds. That's still way before Dante Martin was heading his way. This is where he hits a backflip dodge right onto Jay White. This is where then Dante Martin then try to go running right towards Jay White, but this is where he hits a back clothesline, but he ducks out of the way. This is where he runs right to the top corner side. This is where it's a flying head scissor. This is where then Dante Martin was like, yeah, let's go do this. This is where Dante Martin was like, yeah. He's like, all right, like let's get to the let's get back to business. Where he runs right to the left corner side. Just ran out to the bottom corner side, the ring side here. And where we got Dante Martin knife edge chop right onto Jay White. Luckily, he did it like a rare occasions to hit the deadliest move in sports entertainment. I would say not the deadliest move, the more murderous move in all of professional wrestling, I should say. And yeah, Jay, I was like, yeah, you better be careful, Mr. Martin, because if Gunther sees you, he's gonna add you on the envy list. Which it was swinging, jump right back in the ring. He's like, all right, what you got, Mr. Switchblade? This is where he hits a big head right to the face of Jay White when Jay White tried to go up on the apron. This is where then Dante Martin had a suicide dive right onto the Switchblade, knocking him down. Like this is where then he gone back in the ring, get a step up insecurity right onto the Switchblade. It looked like he could possibly get a rare make a rare upset of defeating the 1/3 of the trios champion. But as much as some of y'all top flight fans, including myself, that unfortunately did not happen, because once he tried to go for a springboard dive right onto Jay White, but Jay White then grabbed onto his legs, and then this is where he made sure he does the fall face first right onto the ropes, and this is where he fell, and he my face, and this is where Jay White check on him and see if he can wrestle in this match, which he looked like he's doing it in a demanding kind of way because he's a heel, but I believe in reality he'd say check on him to make sure that he's okay in general, and he could still do the match, but he did it in a more concerned way in reality, of course. But enough about talking about what's in reality and talk about what's in the kayfabe side of things. This is where Jay White just started hitting some knife edge chops, which made Gunther more angry, which he earned 4,000 more points from the Lane General, which some of y'all saying where the points came from, what him just writing his name down on every dotted line on the list, but I believe his list is over full right now, so he's gonna be adding some digital points, just to add on whoever provoke him of doing the knife edge chop, especially when his permission. But this is where then Jay White then got him right to the right corner side. This is where then he hits him picks him up, put him right on the shoulder, try to go for a power slam, but that's where which he turned into a snapmare flip and hit him back first right onto his knee. This is where we got Jay White then. But this is where Jay White then try to flip Dante Martin right over. But this is where he gets drop kick right into the face. This is where then we got. This is where we got Dante Martin took off his elbow pad. This is where Dante Martin then to get back up after hitting a big drop kick in his comeback move. This is where then Dante Martin then picks up the switchblade. This is where he's going to grab onto the right leg of the blade. And this is where then he clotheslined Jay White out of the ring. This is where he got going back in the ring. But this is where Jay White caught him as soon as he got back up after Dante Martin throwing him right back in the ring. He hits him with a spin around Uranagi slam right into the other side. This is where Jay White to try to follow it up for a pinfall cover, but he only got a 1-2 at 2.99999999 double triple nine minus 0.1 away from being 3. And then this is where Jay White to try to put him. It is where he puts him in a sleeper hold. This is where he Dante Martin flipped out of it. This is where he started. This is where then he start going for the slugfest with his right fist and his right elbow right into the face of the switchblade. This is where he hits him with a right hand back fist, knife edge chop, still maintained in the 5th spot because he did not make 2 man, not as much as Chris Jericho and Kazuchika Shibata did tonight on AEW Dynamite from tonight on Dynamite. My apologies. Why am I even saying right now? But this is where we got Jay White then then grab on the head is where then he whip him right to the left corner side on the apron, like with his head draped right over the ropes, like between the ropes of the top and between the top and the middle ropes. This is where we got Jay White then grab onto Dante Martin. Dante Martin did hit a hot shot or arm drag right onto his rope, right onto the rope, right on the top rope. This is where we got Dante Martin going right up on the top rope in the springboard position. So I go for a springboard, a double dip moonsault by springboard jump right onto the right side, then right at the top rope, top corner ropes, hit a moonsault, and then this is where he lands right onto the switchblade. Try to go for a pin, but this is where we got Jay White that kicks out at 2.999, minus 0.1 away from being 3. This is where then we got Dante Martin to try to go for a half and half Nelson suplex, but this is where we got what's his name, Jay White to counter hit a half and half Nelson Dragon of his own right into the middle of the canvas. This is where we got Jay White then got Dante Martin. He picks him up, hits him with the Blade Runner, got the 1, 2, 3, and the winner of this match, the Switchblade, Jay White. And I want to give a big congratulations to the 1/3 of the trios champion. But this was like no, like I'm not quite done yet. And I do not want to be arrogant. Like, I want to show my respect to Mr. Martin. This is where the referee was like, okay, like as long as you're doing it, this is where he's all picking him up. It looked like he kind of showed some respect. This is where he raised his hand. He's like, yeah, like pre-cheers to the guy that nearly beat me. And then this is where he's like, also there's the pre-cheers to the man that I'm not done finishing brutalizing. This is where then he puts him right under his arm, right after he turned him around towards their right eye, or no, their left, our right. This is where he put his head right under his arm, hit him with a half underhook brainbuster right onto the canvas. This is where he tried to continue to do more damages onto the Top Flight member, but luckily the rest of the Top Flight scared him right off before Jay White could do any more damages. This is where we got the new interview lady then interview Deonna Purrazzo. This is where she asked, "Sorry, why did you did a post-match beatdown on the Thunder Rosa? She was asking a question like, why did after you lost to Thunder Rosa, you instantly assaulted the former AEW Women's Champion?" And then she's like, I want to ask you this one word question. Why? And then this is where I like, what you're asking me why? Like, why what? Like you know what? I have a question. Like, when isn't enough is enough. Like, I don't want to be known as just I'm not known as the random girl that just walked in the building and then they just easily officially call me or officially have me known as All Elite. And then she was like, and she was like, and I'm not gonna be have my 12-year career be in vain of being known like that. And I'm a multi-time women's world champion. I'm actually a 5 times to be the exact of being a former women's champion. And I am the virtuoso Deonna Purrazzo, and after last week, I'm gonna start feeling like myself. I get about damn time. I had to tell and as far as I'm concerned, it's time to make the whole entire damn locker room to start feel myself as well. And then this is where that you see continues like, and the Thunder Rosa don't want to heed my advice and just to make this personal. We can definitely make this personal, but woman, like, you know how it happens, like. And he's like, do you know what happens when you make something personal, like with the Versiosa? And this is where the reporter lady was like, I know, I'm afraid I don't know that. And this is where Deonna Purrazzo was like, I hope you don't find out. And this is where she took off her I believe she took off her headset, and this is where not headset. No, no. This is where she took off like something off around her neck. This is where she did the double slit throat, like maybe like yeah, like off with the head, like kind of gesture. But what's your thoughts onto this feud? Just continuing with the virtuosa against the former AEW Women's Champion. Have a rematch at AEW Double or Nothing. Hmm. Only time will tell. But let's move on to the next slide. We got this is where we got another video package of Rouge, letting every member of the AEW roster on notice, saying like me and my family run the lucha libre industry for many decades, and this was like it. And he's like, and then I started like with my father. What he said, and he's like, and he taught me and my brothers and what's that Angelico and not Angelico what's his name and what's his name and Angelico and Dragon Lee, like how to be a true lucha libre star. And this is where he's like, and I became the first inter-Mexican of holding the Ring of Honor World Championship, not like the half a decade ago. Like, and I am not. And he was like, and I am not, like, I am not lost. Like, I am the most hated man, like, in Mexico. Like, and he was like, and how can you blame them of being a hater onto a guy that's known as the greatest of all time in lucha libre, and that man is none other than Lush, the El Faction. Like, and he's like, and if there's a price to pay, you guys, like you're about to pay your crime, like, and you're gonna feel the wrath of Roosh, and then you're gonna have no choice but to put some damn respect in my name. And that's where he did it, and he said it like in some kind of a demanding kind of way, if anybody in the AEW roster like owes him any money, like if they borrowed it from him from the last 6 months. But what's your thoughts on what's next for Roosh now that he's back in AEW, which I haven't seen him in nearly 5 months since December of 2023. But yeah, let me know right down in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got the next match. But before we do get to the next match, which was Rocky Azuka Romero taking on Kyle O'Reilly, and this match was a total was a total clinic. Like, even though it was like in a minor way, but at the same time they still had me intrigued onto the match. Like, if you guys know what I mean. But yeah, this is where. But before they start battling it out and playing wrestling tennis with one another, this is where we got the remarkable Renee Paquette was in a backstage interview with Big Bill. This is where. And this is where Big Bill's like, I think Chris Jericho, he's the guy, like, to give me that guidance. Like, he's the guy that's gonna help me reach my fullest potential. Of Chris Jericho is gonna make the guy that's gonna take me to the promised land and lead me to a whole new level, and that is to become a future All Elite Wrestling World Champion. And he's like, and I proclaim you as one more time, like, Chris, like, teach me, like. Now teach me, like, I am ready to learn. Like, I want you to teach me in the learning tree. And then this is where Chris Jericho then finally came in and finally saw Big Bill is ready to be teach in the learning tree, wherever that is. Like, it's somewhere like it's like a tree branch version of a school ground, I guess you could say. But yeah, this is where the Chris Jericho's like, oh, thank goodness. Like, you finally came to your senses. And that's where he waved to the fans. He's like, hey, you guys. Like, and that's where then he's like, yeah, like Big Bill, I heard what you said. Like, first of all, I like to thank Shibata. Like, he's a great pro wrestler, by the way. He beat the total crap out of me. he beat the crap out of me, like see it through my chest, but yeah, like in it. And he's like, and I successfully defended a world championship in front of the fans in my hometown in Winnipeg, cheering me on, and then this just getting louder and louder and louder. And then I was like, hopefully that's a sarcastic statement because even in your hometown, Mr. Christopher Jericho, I don't think they were cheering you. Much more of the opposite, which was in a bad way, which yeah, it was more louder when he said they were cheering me louder and louder, which I don't think those were cheers. They were everything but cheers. Even for him being in his hometown, which we could possibly see someone like Apex Predator series of the top 20 wrestlers who got booed in their hometown, something that he would normally do, when he has like a new like a new clip of a top 20 list, from either AEW or WWE, which he could do one for wrestling companies outside of the Stanford-based company, whenever he comes up with a new video. But yeah, shout out to you, my boy Apex Predator series, for and hopefully you'll come up with a new top 10 or top 20 wrestling reaction video. But we're just gonna have to wait and see whenever that one may be. But next up, we got Chris Jericho that said I'm gonna defend this title every single week, and Big Bill and then again the way you were cheering me on and rooting me tonight, made me think, it made me realize that you're right, Big Bill. So I would love to take you under my I want to take you under my wing into the Jericho vortex and have you learn some knowledge in this business from the Jericho learning tree. And yeah, now you're fit, and he's and you're officially a student of the learning tree, Big Bill. This was thank you, Mr. Jericho. Thank you. I appreciate this, and you're not going to regret your decision, Mr. Jericho. You were the best decisions that you could I've ever made in all the professional wrestling, and I'm not going to let you down, Mr. Chris Jericho. This is where Jericho did respond, saying I know you won't let me down, and I know that the fans never let me down.